I'm actually watching this too, seeing how it goes. So I did get through this, and I decided to go with the Mourner with the Monk of Vanadiel and just go pure fire, because with 30 hits you seem to do a lot more damage. So it's pretty similar to my Sarah strategy, except for I added a Encroaching Despair card so that I could try to bring the yellow gauge down on the second part of the battle. So may as well use it on the first part too, because what else am I going to do? And then I have no idea how to beat these nodes without Phoenix Downs. So I've actually gotten to the point with this particular strategy here where I'm timing them so that I know what's coming next. Alright, finally get to switch to the other side. I like the ailment immunity, it's kind of useful. And now at this point we're just going to damage the gauge for as long as we can. Alright. Now I know what's coming. So I'm just going to react to it. Live, that's kind of important. Now she starts using buffs. But that one wears off right away, so that's nice. And the D-barrier is down for exactly 1 round. So I unfortunately let her heal. And then she really gets serious with limitless potential. And I just say, go ahead, kill me. No chance of surviving that. Well, now what? Well, the idea now is going to be, let's come back, and then we'll use Chaos, we'll flip to the other side, and we'll Mourner her. So let's do that. It's funny watching this in retrospect. I'm a little bit slow to make my decisions. I didn't realize that. It makes so much sense after the fact, but in the moment it's kind of confusing. I don't need to use it, but I will anyways, with the idea that I want to get my veil up. So now I have 2 counts on that veil, and we'll be good to go for the rest of the battle once I get the rest of it up. Alright. Now, we've still got Fire Force up. I suppose I could have saved that for another round, but it's going to come back right away anyways. So I put on 1 against many for my weapon for this, so I'd have exactly 40% quick break. And that means that I'm doing a little bit less damage against this side. And it took me a long time to figure out what to do in response to that, because the first few times that I got close on this battle, I was able to bring her down to half life basically after my first set of those, I mean, it was pretty close. It wasn't exactly there, but it was pretty close. So now the challenge becomes, how do I do enough damage so that when round 6 comes, I'm ready to just go at her again? Or maybe even round 7 I'll go at her again, I can't remember. So she's stunned, and I got Mobius gauge. And it took me a couple tries to figure out what to do with this, but what ultimately works is to just go ahead, let the gauge fill. She's stunned for one more action, and then just use diamond shards right away, and it'll be recharged on turn 6. So that doesn't get me out of the sequence at all. And more importantly, I'll be able to switch to the other side, which is why I got beat the attempt before this one, is because I used all of that time to try to get her down to half, but of course I forgot she's poisoned. So that's going to do a massive amount of damage right here, bringing her down to half hit points. And now there's no purpose for me to be alive during turn 7 anymore. So, what happens? She switches to light. Okay, well, I may as well do as much more damage to that gauge as possible, but notice it's lowered quite a bit already. And now my poison's gone. Pout. Oofta. But let's not use up my actions. Tempting. Tempting. Nope. Need to just let her take me out. And there it comes. It's gone. Alright. But now this part is pretty self-explanatory, although we gotta kind of keep our fingers crossed. So I'm going to use Ultimate Boon to get haste. I'm going to use Great Gospel to get Veil. And now, if you look at her elements, she's at 1-3-2. And so I'm guessing she's just going to use an Elemental Surge, and I got lucky. And without that, I'm pretty sure I would have lost. But now, I can go ahead, I can throw Chaos up, even though there's absolutely no reason to, because it's 1 on the debarrier round. I guess it does bring her attack and magic down, but like that matters at all. Alright, now the fun part. It just doesn't take many hits to bring this below 40%. And so that should be good. Let's just go ahead and flip. So we'll definitely be able to break her on this round. But then, of course, it certainly looks like I'm going to have to break her again in order to beat her. But I'm only on turn 6, so I'll just need to break on turn, well, 3, 2, or 1. So all I can hope right now is to bring her down to her wall. So I think she's at a quarter hit points when I get to that point. And that's the goal for right now. We didn't quite get there. Oh yeah, we did. Just far enough. So she's got 4 rounds of barrier, 4 rounds of wall. There's nothing I can do against that right now. So instead, we're just going to work on the yellow gauge. There's no reason to be alive during round 5 because I can't get rid of it, so she knocks me out. Fair enough. Now what? Tough decision here. ultimately, what I decided to do was hit her with Catastrophe, flip to the other side for diamond shards already,
You should not be so cavalier with
with
your
a very basic goal of eliminating that yellow gauge. And I don't need a full charge to be able to do that. But I can't use diamond shards on round 3 and round 0 because it won't work. So I decided to use it on round 4 to make sure that I would have a chance to bring that gauge down. Now the question is, when do I switch? Do I let it charge up on this side? Do I go to the other side? And then I remembered, oh yeah, I still have Ultimate Boon sitting on the other side because I forgot to use it before switching over, which was a mistake here. If I would have used that, I'd have been able to get her diamond shards up the next round, and then I would have been able to use diamond shards again with one turn left and get all my buffs up. But since I screwed that up, I had to find another route to victory. What am I going to do? Just let her take me out. And now I decided to put everything on the line this round. Because D-Barrier 2 was up. So, all my buffs are up. Go ahead, flip to the other side. Diamond shards.
Can you stir my frozen heart?
Pretty simple. If I break her, I win. If I don't break her, I lose. I also note that I had poison up again. Poison is useful. So at this point it's looking really good. That gauge is being shaved, and I'm going to reach a Mobius gauge before the end of these actions. So I guess I saved myself a Phoenix down by screwing up in the round before. I spend a lot of Phoenix Downs trying to get these 3 battles done. I want to say I spent about 50 of them. But it takes several for each battle, in my opinion. Maybe there's another way to do it, but I don't see it. And I am capping out damage on non-weakness elements. Yeah, that was probably the best strategy of the ones that I came up with. So, I go and I get my prize. An extra dimensional fiend mark. Yep, whatever. I cannot believe that the prize for this is extended break +1. That is huge in a lot of contexts. And that one gets me improved criticals, but it's not nearly as big a deal. There must be at least one more interdimensional rift after the last part of the story.